As we log into the dashboard of the Talent Acquisition Suite, along the top, you'll immediately see the ability to navigate through those apps. Now, as an organization, Greenwell has determined that they want to bring in this set of apps that you see here. Beyond that, they could decide on a per-user basis who needs access to what thing. For the hiring tools that come from Connexa, for applicant tracking and recruiting, as you see here, the hiring app Brass Ring, the ability to go into onboarding, the ability to go into Talent Insights for the analytics piece that we'll see a little bit later, potentially the ability to embed connections within this as well. And then farther to the right here, you'll see some of those partner apps that we've embedded as well, so SuccessFactors and Hiredscore. And what we can do is we can take parts of those as well to be able to build those as components on the dashboard of the Talent Acquisition Suite. So here you'll see some other examples, Kango Gift to add recognition, and I can type in a person, choose a reason I want to recognize them, and a gift that I want to give them as part of them assisting me. I can see recommendations from the connection side of things. I can see holiday requests and request time off. So that ability to go into those components quickly and easily from the dashboard and configure that on a per user basis as well so that they have the tools they need at their fingertips is all part of what's available the way that Portal's being deployed here. All right, so let's jump into hiring, where we're using one of the native Connexa apps here called Brass Ring that is used for recruiting, right? So posting jobs and collecting applications. So as a recruiter, I can go in here and post jobs and review people. And then I may need to switch back and do something else in SuccessFactors. And that's where I can move from the actual Connexa apps into SuccessFactors as it would be powered here by SAP and go in and do additional HR tasks in the same environment. So that wrapper that we just saw along the top and the way that we can launch those apps and move seamlessly between them will persist on all of these pages. I can then go into the functionality that I would want within SuccessFactors to set goals or do my performance reviews or my development plan, as well as potentially anything else that would be deployed in this particular SuccessFactors environment to move into time and attendance or org charts or anything else that somebody would want to do in that tool. And then we can take that a step further and jump into something like Hiredscore, so seamlessly moving into another app where what we really want to highlight here with Hiredscore isn't their functionality directly. What their functionality is the ability to go in and take the jobs that exist in the Connexa hiring app, the candidates that exist in there as well, and then compare those to deliver a letter grade of how well that candidate fits that particular position. And the reason we want to highlight that is the transfer of data and the APIs that allow us to move the jobs and candidates into Hiredscore to assign the letter grade itself. So here, I can go into each candidate, grab their profile, and determine, yes, I want to move forward with this candidate, I want to interview them, I want to start the offer process and get something out to them, or no, I don't. And based on those updates, that'll push an update back into that hiring app here, where that exchange, that two-way API of moving data back and forth allows us to move things into other apps and make it usable in a way that a customer may want to. Now, in that same idea, we have the ability with Talent Insights to move data from different systems into Talent Insights, where again, we can run analytics across those. So we've seen parts of kind of the user experience and how we consolidate those pieces into this broader ecosystem. But within this particular one, what we wanted to highlight here for you is the ability to run analytics across those different databases. So here, as we would go into our data sets, what we can do is just type in a question and get a quick answer. So if I want to see elements, again, from potentially SuccessFactors and the hiring app, I could say, show me performance rating by source. As we do that, Watson will suggest for us those visualizations and graphical types that make the most sense for the question that I've asked. And as I click into that, I get the visualization of performance rating broken down by source. And in this particular example, I can see we've had more success hiring people from college than we have Glassdoor, Indeed, LinkedIn, some of those other places that we might find people. If I wanted to narrow that down further by functional area or job title or anything else, I can add those filters here to the left. If I want to see the raw data that actually rolls up to this, I can do that as well here from the tray at the bottom. If I want to override the visualization type and change the graph that we've looked at, I can do that here. I can change the columns and add additional columns or coloring to this particular data set. But the coolest part about this is here at the top, the cognitive piece of this will learn over time what other things I'm interested in. So based on what I've asked before and based on what Watson's analysis of the data itself is and things that are imbalanced or outside of expected distributions, I can go in and see not only is performance rating by source interesting to me, but Watson's going to suggest maybe I also want to see performance rating by age or by band or grade or by certifications, where I can jump into any of those pages and create a new visualization for that particular piece of analysis. Once I'm done with those, I can go in and share this as well in a variety of ways. So if I want to download this to an image, directly to PowerPoint, as I would want to deliver a presentation with this information in it, I can quickly and easily get to all the information I need across these HR systems. Where we can take that one more step further is going back into what we would call a predictive analysis. So in the previous example, we asked for performance rating by source, hoping that performance rating was somehow predicted by the hire source itself. And maybe it's not. Maybe in that scenario it's work experience or education or something else. In the predict module here, what it's going to do is tell us which of those fields is in variables is the leading indicator of that particular outcome. So here, as we're looking at predicting attrition, I can see job role drives attrition and overtime and monthly income. And I can continue to expand that into more and more data points across these systems. So as I go to two fields, overtime and monthly income has a higher predictive strength than job role did. As we get all the way to the full combination tree chart here, I can see that attrition is influenced by overtime and 8 other inputs that may come from different HR systems. So as I want to go in and see what's caused someone to leave the organization, I can see, again, how those come from different areas. So the path that's most predictive of someone leaving is that they work overtime, their job level is greater than 4, and their stock option level is 0, so pulling in information from the compensation system. But I can also see how age interacts with this, and marital status, and job satisfaction that may come from an engagement survey. So that as we want to look at data across systems, we can build this model with all of these variables included to accurately predict important outcomes to our business. So for things like attrition, performance, engagement, we can paint a full picture of how those things are affected by data that sits in these different systems.